Please, I'm just trying to do my job." The soft words barely carried across the polished gym floor, but they stopped everyone mid-movement. 23-year-old cleaning lady Rosa Martinez stood near the supply closet, mop in hand, facing the towering figure of Derek, 32, third-degree black belt, and the gym's most decorated instructor. His sister, Vanessa, stood beside him, arms crossed, her expression sharp with disdain. "You missed a spot," Derek said, his voice dripping with mockery as he pointed to a perfectly clean section of floor. "Actually, you missed several spots. Makes me wonder what exactly we're paying you for." Rosa's grip tightened on the mop handle. She'd been cleaning elite dragon martial arts for 3 months now, every evening after her day shift at the diner, trying to keep food on the table for her ailing mother. She kept her eyes down, her shoulders curved inward, a posture that spoke of too many battles already lost. "Maybe she needs a demonstration of what real work looks like," Vanessa added, her laugh cutting. "Or maybe she's just incompetent." The dozen students scattered across the gym had gone silent, watching. Some looked uncomfortable, others looked away. Derek stepped closer, his black belt swaying with practiced intimidation. "Tell you what, you want to keep this job? Show me you've got some fight in you. Get on the mat." Rosa's head snapped up, her dark eyes meeting his for the first time. I don't know how to fight." "Exactly my point." Derek's smile was cruel. "Come on, 1 round. If you can last 30 seconds, I'll admit you're tougher than you look." What Derek didn't know, what nobody knew, was that Rosa had spent 6 years training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before her father died in a construction accident. She'd been 17, fierce, competitive, headed toward regional championships, but medical bills and mortgage payments had buried those dreams. She'd packed away her gi, put her head down, and learned to survive through invisible hard work. Rosa set down her mop slowly. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear. "You're sure about this?" "Positive." Derek gestured grandly toward the mat, playing to his audience. She stepped onto the mat, still wearing her cleaning uniform, faded blue shirt and worn jeans. Derek moved into his stance, loose and confident. The gym owner, Marcus Webb, appeared from his office, confusion crossing his weathered face. "Derek, what's going on here?" "Just a friendly demonstration, Marcus," she agreed. Marcus looked at Rosa, concerned. "You don't have to." "It's okay," Rosa said quietly. Her voice had changed somehow, steadied. 30 seconds, right?" Derek lunged first, a showy spinning kick meant to intimidate. Rosa simply wasn't there anymore. She'd shifted her weight, reading his movement like music she'd once known by heart. When he tried to grab her, she redirected his momentum, and suddenly Derek was stumbling, off balance, his surprise genuine. The gym had gone absolutely silent. What happened in the next 20 seconds would become legend at Elite Dragon. Rosa didn't strike, she simply moved. Every time Derek attacked, she turned his force against him, staying just out of reach, her footwork precise despite years away from training. When he finally managed to grab her arm, she flowed into a textbook armbar takedown that put him on his back, controlled but unharmed. She released him immediately and stepped back, breathing hard, her eyes filled with something that wasn't triumph, it was grief. 30 seconds, she said softly, then walked off the mat. The silence shattered into chaos. Students erupted in shocked conversation. Vanessa stood frozen, her mouth open. Derek lay on the mat, staring at the ceiling, his ego shattered across the polished floor. Marcus followed Rosa as she picked up her mop with trembling hands. "Rosa, how did you—" "My father taught me," she whispered, tears suddenly streaming down her face. "He saved for years to pay for my training. He believed in me so much. And then he fell, 40 feet from a scaffold, and I had to choose between my dreams and keeping my mother's house." I wiped her eyes roughly. "I haven't been on a mat in 8 years. I forgot what it felt like to be that version of myself." Marcus's expression softened with understanding. "You've been invisible here for months. We never even asked your name properly, did we?" She shook her head, managing a sad smile. People see the mop, not the person holding it. Behind them, Derek had risen. He approached slowly, and Rosa tensed, expecting anger. Instead, his face showed something she'd never seen there: humility. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice stripped of all arrogance. I was showing off, using you to make myself feel bigger." He paused, struggling. "My parents died 2 years ago, car accident. Since then, I've been angry at everything, taking it out on people who don't deserve it." Rosa studied him, seeing past the black belt to the grieving man underneath. "Anger's easier than sadness," she said quietly. "I know." "Will you teach me?" The question came out raw, vulnerable. Not martial arts. How to carry loss without becoming cruel. The gym owner interrupted gently. "Rosa, I have a proposition. We need an instructor for our women's self-defense program. It pays 3 times what you're making cleaning. And," he glanced at Derek, "I think someone here needs some lessons in humility and respect." Over the following months, something unexpected grew in that gym. Rosa began teaching, her confidence returning like spring after winter. Derek became her student, not in fighting, but in understanding that strength without compassion is just violence in fancy clothes. He spent hours listening to her stories about her father, about choosing dignity over bitterness. The real revelation came when Derek discovered Rosa's mother needed surgery. Without telling Rosa, he organized a gym fundraiser, teaching extra classes and donating every penny. When Rosa found out, she confronted him in the empty gym one evening. "Why would you do this?" she asked, bewildered. "After everything?" Derek's eyes were wet. "Because my sister told me something last week. She said watching you that day woke something up in her, made her realize how cruel we'd both become." He took a breath. "Vanessa started volunteering at a women's shelter. She said if you could show grace after how we treated you, maybe we could learn to be better people." Rosa's hand covered her mouth. "Your sister?" "She wants to apologize. She's been too ashamed to face you." Derek's voice cracked. "We lost our parents, and instead of honoring their memory by being kind, we became bitter. You lost your father, and you chose to stay gentle. That's real strength." 6 months after that day on the mat, the gym had transformed. Rosa taught 4 classes a week, her mother's medical bills paid, her joy gradually returning. Derek had lost his arrogance, but found something better: purpose. He volunteered at the same shelter as Vanessa, teaching self-defense to women rebuilding their lives. One evening, Rosa found Derek sitting alone on the mat, a photograph in his hands, his parents smiling. "They would have liked you," he said softly. "You remind me of my mom. She always said the strongest people are the ones who choose kindness even when life gives them every reason not to." Rosa sat beside him, shoulder to shoulder. "Your father, what would he think of who you've become?" Derek wiped his eyes. I hope he'd be proud. Finally." "He would be," said Rosa with certainty, "because you learned the hardest lesson, that being humbled isn't the same as being defeated. It's actually when real growth begins." They sat in comfortable silence as the evening light painted the gym in shades of gold. 2 people who'd started as adversaries, connected now by loss, redemption, and the understanding that everyone carries invisible battles. True strength isn't measured by belts or victories. It's measured by our capacity to remain kind when life has been unkind to us, to see others clearly when we ourselves feel invisible, and to choose grace over bitterness even when bitterness seems justified. The real fight isn't on the mat. It's the daily choice to treat every person with the dignity they deserve. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.